Hello and welcome to Hospitality Hotdish, fresh from the oven. I am Kate Conroy, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships here at Hospitality Minnesota, which is a member-driven organization dedicated to educating, supporting, and advocating for Minnesota's hospitality industry. What you can expect from the Hotdish are conversations with restaurants, hotels, resorts, campgrounds, and the allied members who support those businesses in the state of Minnesota. We release a new episode every other Thursday, so be on the lookout for those. Speaking of which, you can find the Hotdish just about anywhere you can download a podcast. We even put them up on YouTube, so check us out and don't forget to leave a 5-star review so that the algorithm gets us in front of other awesome people just like you. Special shout out to today's sponsor, Café and Bar Lurcat. Overlooking Loring Park, this iconic restaurant is located in one of the most charming neighborhoods of Minneapolis. Known for a thoughtful, delicious menu and warm hospitality, the restaurant is an ideal setting for cozy date nights, engaging corporate dinners, and private celebrations of all shapes and sizes. With me today is Steve Nelson with Spirit of the Wilderness Outfitter and Retail Store. Steve, say hi and let the audience hear your voice.
Well, good afternoon or good morning, whichever time, but the answer is glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the warm words. We're thrilled to have you. So we're going to start with a really hard-hitting question. Steve, what is your favorite hot dish?
You know, to be a good Minnesotan, it has to be tater tot hot dish.
Right?
What it is. However, I asked my wife and my business partner what is hers, and she says, well, now that you mention it, not only tater tot, but I'll tell you what, even wild rice. Hot dish. And I think that's good too. But there's you've got to be careful here now when you ask me this, because if you're going to make a tater tot hot dish, no peas. You cannot put peas in those. I don't like peas, and I don't think you should have those.
100% agree. We're on the same page, my friend. Peas need to not exist. They need to just not exist on the earth.
No, you're right.
I love it. Great answer. Okay. Steve, in terms of hospitality, what is your why?
You know, as I think about this, it's one of the reasons that, of course, that we're here is that can we provide a hospitality to our customers or to our guests? And I think that is one of those items that I'll tell you what, I think a lot of businesses don't focus on. And that is customers have a choice. Like here in Ely, you know, we're 5 hours north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're at the end of the road, and there's a number of outfitters that are in the area. And so people have a choice. So when they come to our place, hopefully they feel after they leave here, they feel like we treated them like family in a good way. Okay. We use I talk with my staff members here is we use a rule we call 20-20 rule. And a 20-20 rule is when a customer walks in the door, we have 20 seconds or 20 feet to greet them. Now, that doesn't mean we have to, it may very well be look up and wave to them. It might be glad to have you here. Come on in. It's, welcoming them into our place. Now, is it exactly 20 feet or 20 seconds? The answer is no. But on the other hand, it just the idea is to make sure that our staff members are reaching out to our customers, knowing that they have a choice. I think another thing that we look at is we teach our staff here and we keep coming back to it time and time again. Our staff, you are here to serve. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve. And if you can get that through, we've got some young people, this is their first job. And then we've got some older people that are either semi-retired or retired. And having that mix of staff members really makes a difference because, of course, I'm the top dog, if you want to say that. My wife and I are the owners of the business, and we can say, well, this is what we like to have. This is the culture we like to have. But many times our older staff are the ones that are doing the mentoring in a different way than we can. And I think that's important. So that's, again, it's hospitality, but it's hospitality on the inside. That's from the staff's point of view. As far as our customers, boy, I'll tell you what, given that they have a choice, we want to make sure that when they do come in, whether they're just walking in or even on the phone, just thinking about us is a good thing. I can remember when we first started, I wanted to make sure that people heard us say thank you. Thank you for being here. And I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I can remember one time, none of our staff said anything to a customer as they left. And I went out to their car and I knocked on the window and they looked at me like, what the heck? And I said, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. And it was amazing. It is constantly, it takes a little bit to get everybody to say that. Please, thank you, being courteous and also talking to people, but that really does make a difference. It makes a difference in terms of our customers coming back or our guests. It also makes a difference on our staff, how we treat each other. I think another thing that I like to do, it took me a while to hear it, but I like to say to people, please come back. I invite you to come back. And a number of years ago, somebody came to me and said, Steve, the reason we're here, I said, tell me. And he said, because you invited us. Holy smokes. Now, how much energy did that take me to do that? So making people feel welcome, listening to them, focusing on them, saying thank you for being here, inviting them back. To me, that's good hospitality is what it is.
I could not agree with you more. Could you tell us a little bit about what Wilderness Outfitters provides?
Yeah, Spirit of the Wilderness Outfitters and retail store. Again, we're located in Ely, Minnesota. That's with a long E, okay? If you said Ellie or Eli, we know you've never been here. Okay, that's the fun part. What are we? We're an outfitting business. That means we send people into the wilderness of the Boundary Waters Canoe area, the BWCA, and also up into Ontario, up into the Quetico. And as a outfitter, we can provide complete or partial outfitting. In other words, you could show up at our doorstep with your clothes and your fishing tackle, and we can do everything else for you. We can provide your food, your tents, your sleeping bags, your packs, your canoes, whatever it is to go into the wilderness. We also do partial outfitting, which means somebody may walk in our door and says, I just need a canoe. They may even say, I just need a life jacket. I forgot my life jackets. We can rent those out to them. So we're sending people into, and we can also get permits for people to go into the Boundary Waters. It's an area that needs to be permitted, and you have to do that in the summertime ahead of time. In other words, many times you just can't walk in the door and say, I want to go. You need to have a reservation ahead of time. The other thing we'd have here is a retail store. And a retail store kind of has outdoor clothing, camping gear, canoe accessories. We also have live bait and tackle. We talk a lot of fishing with people because we're so close. The Boundary Waters area and the Quetico is one of the best fishing areas in the upper Midwest. And that's fun, to see it when somebody says, I caught the biggest fish I ever caught. It might be this big. On the other hand, somebody else says, I caught the biggest fish this way. And to see it through their eyes, Kate, I'll tell you what, is so much fun. We still appreciate that. So as an outfitter, we're sending people into the wilderness and, being so close to the Boundary Waters, we're within 10 miles of it. Is that I need to talk about the Boundary Waters because it's close to my heart because it's such a beautiful area. It's a wonderful area for, of course, the wilderness. There's no cars. You got to use a canoe or a kayak or something like that. It is a black sky designated area. It is one of those places that you get into the Boundary Waters and you look up and you see thousands and thousands of stars. It is also a quiet area, designated quiet area. And, there's times when you can sit and you don't hear anything but maybe birds, maybe just the people you're talking to, that's in your group. To me, to take that time and just enjoy that, most of us don't take enough time to do that. So we service the Boundary Waters canoe area. We service 24 different entry points. We get permits for people. We issue permits. We provide guide service if needed. We provide complete and partial outfitting. Kind of like we can supply your needs, your last minute needs, or guide you through the whole process. As we speak right now, over in my office, my wife is taking phone calls for people that are getting ready to come this summer. And I oh my goodness, just to think what they're going through. They got many questions, but here we are. We've been traveling the area for, I hate to say it because of my age, well over 40 years. I haven't been everywhere. And that's the neat thing. And neither is my wife or many of our staff members. We haven't been to every place. And people will come to us and say, Steve, have you ever seen this? And they get out their camera and they show me a picture. And I go, I didn't know that even existed, because it's 1.2 million acres. And you can't take it all in, not in one time. That's a great place. Thanks. And we very much appreciate being in this area.
What a great answer. That's just fantastic. All right, I think we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we are going to dig a little deeper.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Steve, I am so glad to have you here today. I have another question for you. This is a hard one. What is your favorite Minnesota escape?
If I didn't say the Boundary Waters,
I know.
The Boundary Waters canoe area, why am I here?
Yep.
I'm serious about this because I'm a big corporation dropout. I went through and I was started in sales. I mean, there's a number of places I started, but sales and marketing. And I finally got to the point where I said, I can do this. I can do a business. And so one day, 25 years ago, I told my wife, Kathy, I'm going to Ely and I'm going to go look at an outfitting business. Do you want to come? Her comment was, I better go. Otherwise, he's going to buy an outfitting business. Now, maybe we were crazy because that's almost 25 years ago. But the fact is, it has, this area, it has a way of calling people. It has called us. It's called my wife, my daughter, so many friends. And it's a place to get as I call it, get your batteries recharged. So when life is starting to crush in on you, it's a little bit too hectic, come here and spend some time. And you'll learn that you can slow down. It's okay. And that has been, I think that's what brought me here. Here's the other part of it. The reason I like it here, number one, I chose it, or we chose it, I should say. Number two, everybody who comes here, most everybody, and there's over 200,000 people that come to the Boundary Waters or Ely area every summer, is most of them are on vacation. And they're almost all happy. Now, you say that in terms of a big corporation, and I'm going to say, maybe not. Maybe not. And at the end of the day, after we work many hours, I've enjoyed the people, and I can go home and say, this was worth it. I've introduced somebody to something new.
It's a great answer. I'm going to take it as a personal invitation. I have to get myself up there very soon.
Oh, please do. Even just come up an overnight and spend a little bit of time in the area in Boundary Waters. It's worth it.
I definitely need to. All right. Last question. What keeps you up at night, Steve?
Myself, my wife, and my daughter, there's three of us that are that's the core, the owners. And we have other people that work for us, and they're good. We have been very blessed, if you want to say. No, I shouldn't say blessed. We've been grateful, okay, is the way to put it. I think what keeps us up at night, my daughter, I asked her that today, and she says, in the summertime, it's scheduling our staff because they're all moving targets. How do we get them, to come on time and so forth? A number of our staff are, some of them are high school students, some of them are college students. And and for some, this is their first job. And so, training them, but keeping them on schedule, that's one thing. I think another thing that I have an issue with is the U.S. Forest Service. That's our regulatory body here. And they're trying to maintain the boundary waters as a pristine environment or wilderness. And in what they do is you have to have a permit to go into the boundary waters, especially if you're going to stay overnight or multiple nights. And because of what's happened over the last 3 to 5 years, some people have come in and damaged the boundary waters. And therefore, what ends up happening is the Forest Service has limited some of the permits, and therefore you limit the permits, and that's a limiting factor for my business. If you take away 100 people, not that we service everybody, but you take 100 people or X number of groups out of the system, boy, we're going to feel the effects of that economically. So what the Forest Service is doing or not doing is important to us. I think another thing is, how do we find, where's our next customer coming from? Where's our new customers coming from? Most of our customers are, in their mid-30s, maybe up to their mid-60s, and maybe 70s. And as they get older, pretty soon, we've got to have some new ones. And so that's a key issue, and that's something. How do we make sure that we're servicing a new group of people? And I think the other one, this is really a lot as I get older, is the financials. It keeps me up. I got to be profitable. We have to be profitable, otherwise we're not here. But as I grow older, we also have to consider retiring. Now, that's an issue. How do you retire from your own business? So a succession plan is really critical. And we're trying to work through that. Right now, it isn't so much, if staffing is an issue, but finding the right staff is, critical. But the other part of it is we're at a point where we should be able to hire or can hire a full year-round staff member, like an assistant manager. That's kind of a tough one. So we're trying to figure that out. How do we negotiate and attract another management team in here? Not to say that we're all going to leave, because my daughter will probably take over the business. But we don't want her to go nuts trying to, maintain this. But, those are tough issues. And, we haven't quite figured it all out yet.
Really good answer. Very thoughtful. I appreciate all of that. Thank you. Any last thoughts or anything coming up that you'd like to promote?
We're always promoting. And I think the biggest part is, if you haven't come to the boundary waters, it's calling you. It's calling you to come. And I think that is a critical factor. So what would I promote? Give us a call. Call us and talk to us. You'll find, number one, we're willing to listen. We want to not just tell you what we know, but we want you to have a successful trip. An experience in the boundary waters is like no other. People put it on their bucket list, but what ends up happening is, after they've been here, they say, it's back on my bucket list again. I think that is so cool. That means we've done our job, is what it is. And I think that, and in inviting them to come back is so critical. So what would I like to promote? Come to the boundary waters. Come and spend some time, 3 to 5 days if you can. Come and spend time in Ely. It's a quaint little town, and it's a fun town. It's a historic town. And I think that coming here, people will say, I really like it here. And I think that's whether they're a visitor or a resident. So what would I promote? Come and visit us.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Oh, there's a number of ways. One is to give us a call, and that is 218-365-3149. That's our office. Or visit us on the web at www.elycanoetrips.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram. You'll find us around, is what it is. So if you just or Google Spirit of the Wilderness, Ely, Minnesota, you'll find us.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is our show. One last shout out to our sponsor, Café and Bar Lurcat, the perfect spot for a delightful dinner and elevated hospitality, no matter the night, no matter the occasion. Steve Nelson with Spirit of the Wilderness Outfitter and Retail Store, thank you so much for joining me today. And to all of you out there listening, we will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.